National Guard troops being deployed in Washington, D.C., where I live, that is nothing new. We know about that. We know that their presence here has been extended. And we know that President Trump has said that he is strongly considering sending these troops as well into Chicago. He said at the memorial service of Charlie Kirk in Arizona that one of the last things that Charlie told him was, "Please, sir, save Chicago. We're going to do that," the president said. What is new is that I'm being told that the J2, the intelligence side of the National Guard, they are having to, quote unquote, deflect to keep intelligence out of these domestic deployments. Now, I did not get specifics. Trust me, I tried. I did not get specifics. Instead, I was told that they are trying to act sort of like weather experts, notifying the guardsmen, the troops, wear this. This is what the weather's going to be like when you go outside. And of course, that makes sense when you think of the fact that historically, the National Guard has gone out into natural disasters. That's one of their primary domestic roles. But what I am told is that the J2 lawyers are, quote unquote, busy. Now, I reached out to the National Guard Office of Public Affairs, asking them, have there been requests made of the J2 side of the National Guard? I have heard nothing back at this point, and if I do hear something back, I will certainly make an update in this post. But I decided to reach out to Bob Edinger, who is a former senior CIA lawyer who also had a stint as a lawyer in the Navy. And he said that he felt that busy basically means trying to answer questions that might be difficult to answer. He wasn't concerned about electronic surveillance. That would require court warrants, that would require work with the FBI. Instead, he talked to me about what's called UDP. This is undisclosed participation, basically where a person could join a group and not disclose the fact that they were working in the National Guard. And then he emailed me pages of the church committee hearing from the 1970s where it was described the Army was engaging in this activity. This is an excerpt that I'm about to read you from Church Committee Book 2. And it says, in the late 1960s, the Army instituted a nationwide collection program in which Army investigators were dispatched to collect information on political activities of Americans. This was done on the theory that such information was necessary to prepare the Army in the event that its troops were sent to the scenes of civil disturbances. Another page says, during the Army's Civil Disturbance Collection Program of the late 1960s, Army intelligence agents were employed a variety of covert techniques to gather information about civilian political activities. These included covert penetrations of private meetings and organizations, use of informants, monitoring amateur radio broadcasts, and posing as newsmen. This provision is designed to prevent the use of such covert techniques against American civilians. And the DoD's manual, which Bob also sent me, makes clear that UDP, undisclosed participation, is possible domestically, though it does require the FBI and proving that this is a lawful investigation, or if these individuals are working on behalf of a foreign organization. But it is possible for the National Guard to engage in this. And the central question here is this something that is being asked of these lawyers, and are these lawyers able to provide information that might be inconvenient to this administration? I've heard some concern that if you don't give the correct answers, then you could be dismissed. And that is something that we have seen from members of the National Intelligence Council as well as at the Defense Intelligence Agency. So who would be of interest is the third question, right? I mean, would it potentially be anti-ICE immigration groups, or could it potentially be people who are speaking out against this administration? Well, on the website of the National Guard, when it comes to intelligence, I just want to read you what they write. At home, intelligence experts gather information to help rescue towns and save lives during disasters, or even prevent a national emergency. That is what they are supposed to be used for. And I don't want to say that in this report they're doing anything different. I'm carrying here this stress ball that members of the National Guard gave me a month or two ago here in DC. Perfectly nice people. They would have to follow orders. So this is not in any way a judgment on the character and the nature of the people who are doing that work, just an exploration of what could be happening when it comes to that J2 level. Typically, what they would be doing is engaging in support to military operations overseas. The National Guard intelligence officers have been deployed to Iraq, to Afghanistan, to countries in Europe in support of gathering intelligence around Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. And to give you a sense of what they're doing, when they go on these missions, I mean, it's the kind of thing that they do in all of the intel agencies. It's recruiting sources and building human networks and conducting interrogations and setting up surveillance and camouflaging it and gathering it back up, and counterintelligence operations. It could potentially even mean aviators officers going out on planes and engaging in special electronics missions. There's a whole host of activities here. There's a job descriptions for all of them on the National Guard sites. The trainings for these take place in places like Arizona and Texas, and there is a legacy here. This is an institution that started in 1636. They support both federal and state, which makes all of this even more complicated. But I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for watching. If you found this video informative and valuable, please consider becoming a paid subscriber so I can keep doing this work for you. And I'll see you again soon.